I started my art channel in October of 2021, and it has been a crazy ride, to say the least. Since then, I've gained over 1,700 subscribers, created almost 50 videos, and learned a lot. As I look back over my first year of YouTube, I'm excited. I'm really happy with the growth of my channel. I've really discovered a passion for creating videos, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the next year takes us. That said, this YouTube journey has been anything but straightforward. We trudged through some valleys, climbed many mountains, and we took a lot of naps along the way. There are very few people, artists in particular, that achieve immediate success on YouTube. Success is subjective, of course. Ashley King comes to mind, Valerie Lynn. These artists managed to crack the oh-so-elusive YouTube code right out of the gate, obtaining millions of views and hundreds of thousands of followers, which is incredible. And I am so happy for them. That has not been my experience, which is totally fine. It's been very slow but steady growth for me, and today I want to share with you what I've learned during my first year as a YouTube artist. So when I started my channel back in 2021, I was also working part-time as a barista. I worked 6:30 to 10:30 every weekday, came home, did some yoga, and spent the rest of the day painting. At this point, I wasn't really super committed to making videos. I had purchased an iPhone 11 and a desk tripod to film, but I didn't really have a whole lot of time on my hands for filming and editing. I also had absolutely no idea how to navigate painting around a camera. Needless to say, my channel was not prolific to start off with. I made a grand total of 5 videos in 2021. But I decided that if I wanted to make this YouTube thing work, I needed to take it seriously. That meant that it was time to quit my job at the coffee shop and pursue my career as an artist full-time. Thus began 2022. I was fired up, ready to give this YouTube thing a go. I had just begun my 100 Scene Studies challenge, as well as a schoolism course that I was determined to complete in half the time that it needed. I was also determined to create more personal illustrations and to put out a video every single week.
Can you say overwhelm?
I would paint a scene study each weekday for a week, create a fully finished illustration the next, and repeat that system. I woke up early each morning, immediately started working on the schoolism class I was taking over breakfast, would work on my scene study or personal illustration till lunchtime, finish it till about 4 in the afternoon, then somehow managed to pull together a script for a video, record it, edit it, everything in the evenings. Then complete my class homework over the weekend. I have no idea how I did this. I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't remember much from this period of time other than extreme stress. It was a highly unsustainable workload, and in light of my pre-existing health issues,
Highly stupid.
I was sick a lot during this time period and eventually decided that enough was enough. My summers consist of a lot of volunteering events, so my work structure began to loosen up during those months. I started doing only 2 or 3 studies each week to give me time to put real effort into my videos, and also have more time for personal art projects. Now this was a real turning point for me. I had been so caught up in doing scene studies that I had forgotten to make art from my own imagination and for my own enjoyment. I'd also been so caught up in just cranking out a video each week rather than making videos that were truly of value to people. Eventually, I decided to make a video every other week versus every week to give myself more time to brainstorm more high-quality video ideas and,
Oh yeah,
actually have the time to make art. Without art, there is no video. So when I started my channel, I didn't really have much direction on what kind of videos I wanted to create. I mean, art videos, duh. But if you've explored art YouTube recently, you'll know that there are hundreds of micro categories to choose from. Of course, you don't have to pick just one, but you also can't do all the things. There are art channels that create more business-focused content like Kelsey Rodriguez. There are channels like Valerie Lynn who create very aesthetic studio lifestyle vlogs. There's also channels like Jess Karp who create videos solely centered around the art she's making. So I knew from the beginning that I wanted my art to be the main focus. I wanted to show the process of creating an illustration, to share the journey of a piece. I've always been a little insecure about my appearance, so I knew pretty quickly that I didn't really want to show my face on camera that much. I don't mind a few little snippets here and there, but for the most part, talking head videos are a no-go. But there's plenty of artists, such as Drawing with Waffles, who never show their face in videos, so I knew that was a possibility. There are artists who never do voiceovers, and there are artists who talk about anything and everything over their videos. I like to talk, if you haven't noticed, so voiceovers were definitely going to be my thing. There are so many things you can talk about in a video. The possibilities are absolutely endless, yet there have been many times that I was completely drawing a blank. I would sit down to write a script for a video, and I felt like everything had already been said before and said better by somebody else. But that's art. Everyone has their own point of view, and when in doubt, you start there. Start from your own line of sight. So that's what I did. I started talking about my illustration process, which doesn't really change much from piece to piece, so I got bored with that pretty quickly. So I moved on to personal stories. Just funny little life stories that related to the scenes I was studying from. Laughter is very, very important to me, so I really wanted to make my videos entertaining. Now, I'm a pretty dumb person, so I have a lot of entertaining moments to pull from. I began to get more and more questions on how to find your art style and how to get started with gouache, so I started making dedicated series and one-off videos for those topics. As I began to open up about my chronic health issues, people started emailing me and sharing their own stories with me and how I've inspired them to keep going in their art journeys. That's led me to talk more about balance and how important it is to take care of your health as an artist. Creativity is very taxing. It is an ever-present life force that it never shuts off. Even when you're reading a book or watching a movie, there's still some part of you thinking about that painting that you're working on or that story you're writing, but to only devote yourself to your art is to greatly deprive your art of all that it could be. It seems kind of counterintuitive that to make good art, you need to not be making art all the time. But I firmly believe that's true. There is more to life than art, and there is more to you than being an artist. And building onto that, art is only as beautiful and exciting as the life you live outside of it. Art is the people you meet and the community you surround yourself with. It's the nature you experience, whether that's mountains or lakes, ocean life or cows. It's the stories you read and the music you listen to. I'm getting off track here, but because I'm so passionate about living a balanced lifestyle, that's a topic that also frequently comes up in my videos. Over the past year, I've finally found myself in this kind of weird little niche of making videos about the journey of being an artist, sharing the uplifting wins as well as the sometimes embarrassing losses. Chatting about the book I'm currently reading that's inspired a new painting. Some videos are more lighthearted and entertaining, like my Week of Art videos, and then some are a little more thought-provoking or informative, like my Finding Direction in Art video. While I've found certain styles of filming or script writing that I really do like and definitely intend to keep implementing, there's also so much space for me to explore and expand with my channel. Making videos is just like making a painting. It's just a different form of art. It's exploring and discovering. It's failing a lot. It's not for everyone, just like crocheting or gouache painting isn't for everyone. But it's definitely an art form that I have completely fallen in love with, and I intend to keep pursuing it. So we've chatted about the videos themselves and the many, many topics I've explored in them. Now let's talk a little bit about the actual production process and what I've learned in that area. So I had just spent about $1,000 on filming equipment, and I was determined to get by with free editing software. So I started off with Shotcut, and it was not a pleasant experience. I don't know what the problem was, but Shotcut and my computer did not get along well. Hours and hours of tears, trying not to pull my hair out while every single edit took like 4 minutes to process. In the end, it finally crashed, and I moved on to DaVinci Resolve. Let me tell ya, I love this software. No, I'm not sponsored.
But I could be.
Like most things, there's a paid version, but I just use the free version. I watched a few tutorials on YouTube just to kind of get the basics down, like hotkeys and where to find the add text button. I picked up a few little tricks along the way, but for the most part, I leave what I don't understand alone, which is honestly most of the software. I stick with like 3 of the workspaces and don't touch anything else. I love watching speed paints, so I naturally started there with my videos. Every scene study and illustration sped up within an inch of their lives to fit everything into a 10-minute video. It took me a while to figure out that the majority of my audience were getting a little seasick watching me paint at 5,000% speed, so I started trying to build in more real-time footage. Over the past few months, I've switched entirely to real-time footage. It definitely takes a lot more time to edit. I'm going through every single piece of footage to find the best parts and cut out all the parts that are just me staring at the page for 5 minutes, not knowing what to do next. This has also sped up the exporting process by a lot. What used to take like 5 hours to export now takes about 20 minutes, so that's cool. One of the handy little tools in DaVinci is color correction. I'm sure most editing software has this, but anyways. I live in the Midwest, so sunset's at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the wintertime. Sometimes you need to brighten up a piece of footage or tone down the grain a little bit, just making little tweaks here and there. I'm not a pro at this by any means, but I usually just go through the footage and color correct till it looks right to me. But videos aren't just about the footage and how the colors look. It's also about the music and the editing. Do you zoom in to emphasize a point? Or do you add text or graphics for another visual element? Do you add sound effects? Do you play slow jazz softly in the background? Or is heavy metal ambiance more of your thing? Videos are an experience. Every element is an opportunity to tell a story. Editing makes the funny parts funnier and the educational parts more informative. Editing is a lot of trial and error. And there's no one right way to edit. A lot of people find the fast-paced,
Loud audio with text and graphics all over the screen and a new scene every single second very appealing.
I, however, find this very overstimulating and overwhelming, and I can't stand it. I immediately click out of those kinds of videos. Sometimes I like a little bit more energy in a video, like how Drawing with Waffles edits hers, and other times I like a calmer, more soothing pace like Valerie Lynn. I try to keep my videos kind of low to medium energy, just to keep a slower pace that matches my normal speaking range. Slow to medium energy is basically how I exist, so this comes naturally to me. The slightly slower pace gives people time to laugh at a joke or to think about a highly profound nugget of wisdom I've just bestowed upon them. This hasn't happened yet, but
It could.
anything is possible. I've learned that there are many different paces to choose from for your videos, and not everyone is gonna vibe with the one you choose. And that's okay. My videos aren't for everyone, and there's no shame in that. I like to keep my music relatively quiet, sometimes a little bit of spicier jazz for a higher energy video, or maybe some soft piano for a lower energy one. But editing doesn't just come into play with the video itself. It's also a major part of creating a thumbnail. I'm gonna be completely honest, editing thumbnails is the most stressful part for me. Writing and recording a script, no problem. Editing my footage, boring but doable. Adding fun text, voice changes, and graphics, my absolute favorite. But editing thumbnails makes me want to crawl into a hole.
And die.
I panic taking photos. I panic choosing photos. I never know what color my text should be, how big it should be, how many words should be included. If I'm ever making enough money on YouTube to hire help, this is the first thing I'm delegating. I don't know, man. Every great piece of advice I've heard about creating a thumbnail just completely flies away when I sit down to actually do it. Unfortunately, because that's the first thing people see of your video, it's kind of important. It's a necessary burden that I have yet to get comfortable with. So we've discussed the videos and the editing. Let's talk a little bit about the analytics. They intrigue me, but I don't fully understand them. I know that if a new video does really, really well and gets you like a 1 out of 10 in your analytic ranking, then little confettis fly over your screen. I also know that no matter what I do, there's a massive dip in the graph at the beginning of every single one of my videos. I don't know if this is because of the autoplay feature on YouTube where people pause for like just a half second too long on your video and it starts to play it. No clue, but I'm not really concerned. But there have been things that have boosted my views and watch time over the past year. The first thing was shorts. So I started YouTube not too long after shorts became a thing, and let me tell ya, those things will rack you views and subscribers so fast. I almost always get between 1,000 and 4,000 videos on my shorts. I have no idea why shorts get so many more views than full-length videos, but I'm not gonna question it. Another thing that helped me grow my channel is creating more real person focused titles and thumbnails rather than just search driven. While I do of course want to create content that is searchable, I also want it to be intriguing to real people. A video with the title,
"How I've Created This Illustration, Thumbnails, Color Comps, and Final Painting,"
sounds a lot more boring than
The journey of an illustration,
or
don't miss this crucial step in your illustration process.
I try to avoid titles and thumbnails that are too clickbaity. I want my audience to get what they came for, not to walk away feeling like I didn't deliver on what the video title promised. It's been a long and exciting first year here on YouTube. I've met a lot of cool artists, built a really fun community, and I've really enjoyed sharing my journey as an artist with you guys. I love exploring new ways of editing and telling the story of an illustration. I'm always observing how other creators, even the ones outside the art community, create their videos. I'm learning how to create an aesthetic with B-roll and create more shot variation while I film. It's an art form that I'm still very, very new to, but one that I'm also very excited to continue exploring. I have a lot of upcoming fun new videos planned for next year. It's looking like I'll be monetized on YouTube by the beginning of the second quarter, so that's really exciting. I'm sure the next year is going to bring a lot more changes to my channel and to my editing process. I look back on the first few videos I made and all I can do is cringe. Who knows, by this time next year, maybe this video will be among the cringeworthy ones. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed watching me paint this scene study from Monsters University and diving deeper into the journey of my first year on Art YouTube. Thank you so much to my patrons over on Patreon who've helped make this journey possible. I am so excited to see where the next year takes us. It's coming on fast, y'all. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys!